Okay. So well, we were yet to see your last round game
Um, I,
against.
I think we looked at 1 to 4. So I think 5 and 6 we didn't look at.
Oh, against
Brian Sullivan, yeah, it
Sullivan.
was kind of a bit of a steamroll. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. Yeah, I think we went through it very quickly at
Did
least,
we?
but yeah, we,
Oh,
we
you.
didn't really even see it.
Oh,
So
you
we're going
might
to go
be.
through it.
Uh,
I'm not sure really because there was another Sicilian out there. So I'm no, we didn't see this one. You're right. Um, oh, sorry. Could you give me just one?
yeah. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so knight g4, well, he plays this extremely theoretical variation. Bishop g5, h6, bishop h4, and I'm curious about this because if you know knight g4 and this stuff, you probably should know something about g5, bishop g7, the knight g5. I don't know. Queen a5 is it's a very strange move.
Yeah.
um, it really doesn't look great. h3. You mentioned that knight b3 was better, but you won't lose sleep over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. I mean, if you don't know the theory, if we can call it that, because Queen a5 is very odd, then I mean, appreciating the difference between playing h3 first and just going bishop b3, knight b3, and sorry, is not impossible. So h3, knight e5, knight b3. This still makes a lot of sense. You castle queenside. Not optimal as g5 cuts white dark square bishop. True, though it's such a natural move that it's I'm not to play it. I mean, I don't know. Were you thinking of f4, for example?
I think I gave that some thought, but I thought let's not give any potential possibilities for black. So let's just get some king safety. Then I can have fun with f4 and so forth.
Yeah, the one thing that I like about f4, now that you mentioned that g5 is still possible, is that then you can drop the bishop back to f2 even. And I don't see where this knight is going that can be useful for black. It's really uncomfortable, really. Going back to g6 is awful. I don't know if this was the suggested line by the engine or anything, but
I
it's
think the
looking great.
engine liked G. Oh well, no. I forget what the computer liked.
From a human perspective, I really like this. I have to say. I mean, there's no reason for this knight to be here at all. And well, you push your pawn forwards, winning tempi, which is basically what you pray for in a Sicilian. So you must be doing great here. But this is still fine. I mean, he played that useless queen a5, queen d8, so he must be in trouble. Bishop e6 and 95. What do you think about f4 now?
Yeah, I mean, again, I considered I again, I think my thinking here was that I didn't really want to give any even slight crack in my position. Like I was thinking possibly he takes on b3 and then I have to, if I take with the a pawn, possibly, or maybe I take with the c pawn, but if I take with the a pawn, then maybe he starts marching his a pawn up the board, a5, a4. And I mean, probably I'm good there, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just liked plugging that hole of that bishop It's knight
Yeah,
d5.
that's interesting, but that's a very indeterminate comment, which is something we have to work on. On one part, it's a Sicilian, so you're playing white. You're probably not going to get by just by trying to plunge holes in your position, trying not to risk anything, because you're playing white in a Sicilian. So it's a very active open. So you probably need to play with initiative. Sometimes even risk something because it's sharp in general. But in this case, Black did some weird stuff. He played this queen a5, queen d8. He never played g5, which is odd given how this variation usually goes. So maybe you can take advantage of this. And up to this point, he played many natural moves. I'm not saying that knight d5 is not good. It's even probably best. I don't know. But at this point, you should be calculating some stuff because it might well work. For example, this bishop when he sits is a bit oddly placed, and something like this could be a problem. Not that it is. I'm not entirely sure, but for example, f4 is more. I don't know if you looked at 4 during the game.
Yeah, it was always a consideration. Yes.
You mentioned bishop takes, but that's not happening after f4. I mean, it's if you play something like f4, well, he has to react. What do you think he plays? Bishop takes. At the very least, you can take with any one of the pawns. You're going to be way better because his knight has to go away. Then your bishop goes to c4. And
I guess this would probably be my other concern. So knight c4 is my greatest.
Knight c4.
Yeah.
This is definitely the move.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you stopped here. I mean, after you saw this.
Yeah, I would have just stopped there. I hate the knight there. You know that, right? I do not like having. I call that the Kasparov knight because I forget where he said it, but I think I heard or I read somewhere that Garry Kasparov he calls a knight like on that square, any of those 4 squares on the board. It's about as strong as a rook. It's like worth like 5 points on that. It's just it's a really good attacking. In this position, it maybe not as much, but it's a really good square for the knight, and I don't like to deal with that.
But still, we should take a look at the position as a whole. Black is still moving the same piece around, and he's not going to checkmate you just with Kasparov knight. I don't know if it's I don't care if it's Kasparov's knight. It's up to this point, it's quite lonely there.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny because I don't allow it. I do not allow like the knight on c4 like that. I just hate it so much. I always take, and I know it's very thematic. Like in the dragon type positions, you always take the knight on c4, like every time. So I'm used to taking it. Again, I know this position is different. But yeah, I admit that I definitely discounted, like as soon as he played knight, like, or the possibility of knight c4, I can't allow that. Like, okay, so
immediately.
Yeah, so queen.
Yeah, the problem is that automatically ruling out.
Because his bishop is the only defender.
Yeah, his bishop is the only defender. He's very under.
Okay, so b5.
Underdeveloped. I would say even undeveloped. b5 should be the move. Yeah.
And then
this is pretty interesting. I was thinking about f5, but maybe bishop d7. I don't know if we are really doing that much damage. Maybe e5. e5 looks interesting, I have to say. I mean, the problem is that he's nowhere near finishing development. So something like this, I don't know, 94 is coming. Maybe with 95, why not? I mean, I'm not saying you should have decided on this during the game, but it definitely deserves consideration. The problem is that ruling out something immediately because well, I'm not used to the knight on c4 or the knight on c4 looks good. I'm not seeing the position as a whole. Might be a liability because it can easily become a liability because
because I don't really,
you're,
I automatically discount it.
yeah, you're going to discard many promising opportunities without even checking them, just because of what it looks like.
Okay, so
You're really isolating one positional feature of what's going on.
so even if I hate it, I should still give it like even a 10% chance or something. I should give it a little bit of a consideration.
Yeah, you should give it thought. Yeah, because you should see not only how beautiful the knight looks, but you need to evaluate the whole context. Yeah, the knight is on c4. That's true, and that's his best minor piece. I mean, take this knight away from here, and black is probably losing. But what else? I mean, the king is stuck in the center. The knight on its own is not currently threatening anything. I don't see how this king is going to. You're threatening f5, by the way, which is not a small threat at all. f5, f6, e6, I don't know, something bad should happen there to black. And yeah, I'm finding it really hard to see how black manages here. With his king stuck in the center. Yeah, the knight is great and all, but it's his only good piece, and the other ones are not cooperating.
So knight a5 something?
Knight sits to a5, something like this?
Yeah.
Well, something like knight d4 looks strong. This is probably a threat already.
I almost wonder if he could then go knight takes b2. So after knight I know I'm getting a little wild here, but what's the idea of and then knight c4 check, and then his queen can come into a5.
Yeah, then we do exchange.
Yeah, but then queen a5.
But you have to take here first, and then it's white to move.
Yeah.
So at least we get a tempo to deal with it. Let's say we play queen d2. There's no queen a5 anymore.
After bishop
and there are probably more.
After bishop c4?
Yeah, bishop takes, takes, queen d2.
Queen d2, and then queen a5. Oh, wait. The knight is... Yeah, the knight's gone. Okay. Yeah, I know. I know I'm a little wild there with knight b2, but I'm just... I'm showing you how scared I am of that knight. I mean...
yeah, and this can also be answered with f5 most likely. It might be even easier because, yeah, just rolling. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if white is really that well placed here. I mean, it looks promising for sure. I don't know if black can do something to defend from this. Looks hard at least. But at least it should be given consideration. I mean, you shouldn't stop at f4, knight c4. Oh, the knight is coming to c4. We need to see the whole picture. That I think that's the main point. Because knight d5, I mean, it's fine. It's a natural move. But natural moves in the long run can cost you. They can become very expensive. So b5, and now you launch f4, which is promising. Knight c4, and then bishop takes c4.
I can't allow that. No.
Bye. Yeah, queen f3 is still promising, I guess. At least it looks good.
But here,
I know it's hard to deal with him.
Well, here especially, his pawn feels like it'll get overextended as well. And then he can't really attack with a pawn storm either anymore. So The fact that he has to retake with the B pawn, I think, hurts him quite a bit.
Yeah, I think at this point, this is awesome for you. I mean, you're even getting rid of any attacking chances. This time, I think it's important because there's a no pile and all now. So, yeah, even after all these changes, I think your position should be better. Knight a5 is pretty strange, though. I don't know what this is. It's still hard. I mean, if you take queen takes and he has the same problem, that bishop is misplaced. But I think you should go for that. I don't know. Knight a5 certainly doesn't look like it. Bishop e1. This one was nice. You thought for 14 minutes on this move?
Yeah. I mean, it was the very first move that I considered because he has to retreat, but it took me a long time to figure out how I capitalize on black playing knight b8 or knight b7. Because the thing is, I saw bishop e1 and I saw that he has to go knight b7. But then I said, then what? Because then the problem is I'm blocking the e file. I can't play rook e1 anymore, and I'll have to spend a move moving my bishop. So I spent a very long time trying to figure out how do I benefit from his knight going to b7, and then finally I figured out how to do that.
Yeah, I think it. I mean, the position looks great, and you're going to jump in. There might be options at this point. For example, rook a1 looks not so natural and so powerful that I mean, I can't count this one out. It looks like it should be winning by force or something. But still, bishop e1 is it looks really powerful. Queen b4, queen c7, queen a4, and then you capture the pawn. He has. I like the fact that you just capture the pawn. He has nothing because you can always go knight c6. And well, he plays the only move which is kind of useful to get the bishop out. But he's still totally collapsing. Bishop g7. And now, did you stop to calculate something here?
No. The only thing I was thinking of here was I was thinking, does the move order matter? And I kind of concluded it doesn't. Like knight c6 or wait, sorry, was it here or was it the previous move? No, here. I think it was. Wait. Sorry, was it here? No, maybe.
And here, you have to decide on the discovered attack. Yeah.
Was that? I can't remember if that was this move. No, maybe it was the next move. No, but I wasn't really calculating much here. No.
Because this is a situation again where some calculation might be in order. I mean, he's about to castle. I mean, that's not going to solve all.
I actually forgot that he could castle. When he did later, I forgot that he could. I just forgot. I when he did, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, you can castle? Yeah,
Yeah, move 24 and he could still.
Yeah,
castle.
maybe that's why I was confused because it took him so long to do it. But
yeah, and you even checked him before, so yeah.
yeah.
I mean, knight c6 is winning. There are a lot of moves that should be winning, but this is the time, guys. Put the game away. It really looks like there should be something. I think there's a more powerful move than that. At least one that's tactically.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because I was not in this position. I remember I was not really putting much time. Like there was not. Yeah, I did not put much time into this move. I
Yeah,
mean,
the bishop is hanging, the king is still in the center. If he can't castle, all the better. The move I'm thinking about is even stronger in that case.
yeah, I mean, there's knight e6, which is a discovery on his bishop.
And if bishop takes c3,
then queen takes c3, and I'm threatening a h8.
and what else? Rook g8 and
Okay, so knight e6, bishop takes c3, queen takes c3, rook g8,
g8.
and then I can get a fork on on a1 and in e1, a8 and e8 with knight c7.
Yeah, that's the point. 96 is almost winning on the spot. In order not to lose material, you should take the knight, which is well,
Yeah, I
even
could
hard
almost
to
I
call
can
it.
almost have another Zwischenzug here with taking on e6 might even work.
You can take on e6.
Yeah.
I'm not sure though, because queen d5 and he's kind of forcing you to trade queens.
Well, okay, maybe I'll trade queens there. I'll go to an endgame. That's okay. Then I take right.
it.
Yeah. Maybe not. That might be
taking a
a little
look
close. Yeah, this would be better. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, why would it change queens when his king has nowhere to
Yeah,
go?
yeah. And then and I guess you'll go rook h7
to defend h6.
Yeah. And then I'll go back all the way c3, I guess.
All the way to c3. Yeah, it looks reasonable. If rook c8, you can even take one more pawn. And that king is... Yeah. Oh no, why are we going to take that pawn? Just queen e4. And that's basically it, I think. He can't even defend this. Yeah, I guess his position should be falling apart now. More files are opening up. G6 is crumbling. Yeah, I mean, he isn't losing a piece, as in the variations we saw, but he's what? A pawn down. One more is going to.
Oh no! Yeah, this looks terrible. I mean, his rook is misplaced. I have a bishop. His pawns are scattered. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's almost too much. Even rook h7. Oh yeah, we still shouldn't. Yeah, we still shouldn't go for this. Or maybe you can play queen d4 after that, and you defend the bishop. But that's a bit odd. I don't know. Or queen c3. But still, if he takes, we don't really care about pawns at this point. We just care about open files. Yeah, he's not going to survive this. So, yeah, I mean, in this game, the only thing you lacked was a bit of a killer instinct, because you won comfortably, but it can be much easier because the game kind of, I mean, it was never really complicated. He's always struggling. But here again, I mean, you still have many tactical opportunities to exploit. And this was a moment where you could take advantage of tactics again. Nothing extraordinary this time, but
I keep looking at the most obvious, but I'm not getting it to work. I'm trying to get something going on e7, obviously, but like if I mean, knight takes first, I couldn't see. I couldn't see a direct
Yeah.
follow-up. And if I go to E1 first, I assumed just rook E8. And I mean, unless I then have time to double up on, like, put a rook on E2 and rook on E1. I don't know if I have time for that. And F5, if he can't take with the queen, he would have to take with the pawn, which would be ugly for him. But I mean, is that just good enough? Like F5, GF. Like, it doesn't. I mean. Okay, so let's just say F5. I mean, the other thing is he doesn't have to take it. He could just do nothing. Like F5, maybe he just plays King H7. So I'm not so sure about F5. I mean, yeah, I don't see it. I don't see that.
Well, if that's the case, it's an achievement. F5 is strong. I mean, you played G4 in preparation for this. If you can play it directly, Black is not even activating his pieces. If you play King H7, then most likely you're going to take and put a rook on E1. You even have his seats now. Yeah, true, he can play this, but his position can a lot. I mean, his king is even more open than it was already. So that's a huge achievement in itself. Then you can even play H4, try to get H5 in. The point is that you're opening up his position, his king's position, even before he can start to react on the other side of the board.
What about?
Which he probably can't anyway, but yeah.
What about G5 and F6?
Well, G5,
Yeah.
I'm not sure we should allow F6. Maybe we play F6 first. If E5, for example, trying to keep everything close. Yeah, because if he takes this, it's just terrible, I guess.
Well, I was thinking even just rook E8, rook F8, let's say.
Well, at this moment you can't because of this.
Yeah, maybe he sacks it. Maybe he sacks the exchange there. That too much.
Well, that's great for us. I mean,
Okay.
I'm all for it. He probably needs to try and keep things close somehow.
En passant here, I think. You think?
Yeah, you can take a passant.
Because then I can go on E1 with tempo.
Yeah,
although I guess he's hitting A2 though. Although then we have 97 and he's really in danger. Yeah. Yeah, because then we have 97 and Queen D3, and he might be mated there. I think he is.
How do we open up the king side without him being able to?
Yeah, so maybe just 97 right away.
97, King H8.
Yeah, Queen D3. And that's it.
93, but where is the queen heading? Because
Okay.
all of these are
Well,
90.
eventually then we'll play H4.
Yeah.
Well,
But if you
H4,
play
G4.
H4,
Yeah. Then we have maybe knight F5.
Yeah, it's still probably. And it still looks great. The position is horrible for black and all. But again, we can't let him activate his pieces or anything. And if we keep postponing the death blow, well, you know what happens. Usually in practice, it gets harder and harder. Why not fixing the G pawn first and then playing H4, for example, which is quite a typical idea to open files. First, you fix the pawn so that he the position close, and then you go H4.
Okay, interesting.
I don't think he's going to survive this.
It's fun for white anyway. It's a fun game for white to play.
No
pressure.
At this point, for example, the idea he had before, he had in the game, this fails spectacularly. Doesn't even matter what he does. H takes is coming because this is checkmate. And so, yeah. But these things make the game easier for you. G4, yeah, you're still going to play F5. Your position is so much better than that.
I'm a very conservative player, as you may have noticed, right? Like I like to set things up. I don't take risks.
Yeah.
I play very safe.
It turns out to be riskier.
That's
the problem.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Risk happens, you need to put the game away. Otherwise, if you let your opponent have some counterplay, then it might get more complicated. Were you calculating F5 already at this point?
Honestly, everything looked good. I didn't really put too much thought into the game. Truthfully, yeah. I thought everything was winning.
The master quote is appropriate here. If you see a good move, then look for something even better. F5 looks crashing again. I mean, this is absolutely irrelevant. I don't see how he's going to exploit that. You played Queen F3. Knight D8, well, at least he's getting rid of that knight. It's something. I mean, this is an upgrade for him, even though, he's still losing and all. It's definitely not as easy as it should have been. He played Queen C7, which looks reasonable, and now kept things as close as possible, but then H4 came. What do you think about King G7 here? Did you calculate some stuff at this point?
King G7. So I just thought everything would be winning. If King G7, I would have just taken HG probably.
H takes.
Yeah. And then maybe Rook H2. Maybe. Well, okay, so he's gonna play Rook H8. Well,
I think there is something better, but this
Rook H5. Can I play Rook H5?
Rook H5 fits. I think you have him there.
Then maybe Rook H6.
But with a king on G7, no?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, okay. I was trying to get to G6. I wonder if I could then. No, that won't work. Hang on. Okay, so let me just restart. So, HG, Rook H4. No, sorry. It's Black's move. So King G7, HG, Rook H5, Rook. Oh wait, Rook H5, F6.
Yes. You have a straightforward win, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because as soon as he moves to C Rook, he's not threatening C2 anymore. Okay, so I can double up. So I guess I could go Rook D H1, and then if he goes Rook C H8, I think I'll just take twice. Take twice. Hang on.
You don't have
no. Then my queen is free to go to H3. There's no threats on C2 anymore. And
Queen H3. Rook takes H5.
Yeah, then Queen H5.
Queen H5.
And then
Rook G8.
Rook G8. How dare you put it there? Queen
That's still
h7.
different.
Queen h7.
Queen h7, king f8. I'm hanging on to your life.
Oh man, that's. I don't know of a
That's
good.
nothing. He's escaping.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything after that.
No, you have to recap then. King g7 looks very odd. I mean, it's so slow, this whole plan of f6, rook h8. There must be something, and there are some important connections you should be looking at now.
Okay, let me start over. King g7,
Yeah, king
hg, hg, rook
Another
h5.
candidate. Don't advance so quickly
Okay.
over the variation.
So
Try to
hg,
figure out the candidate.
so hg, hg.
You need candidate moves. What?
So let's. Okay, that one. Okay, hang on.
Remember the forcing moves mantra.
Yeah, I know. I was just looking. It doesn't work. So I was just looking at rook g7 check or rook h7 check to get my queen in there, but it's not going to work because I'll have to spend a move playing c3. So let me think. So hg. Oh, wait a second. We've got f6. There we go. It's got to be f6. Yeah, I don't have to calculate f6. Beyond that once you see f6.
E takes?
Yeah. Sorry? E takes?
And E takes f6.
Okay, so I guess taking with the queen has to be good because then we have the open E and F files suddenly. So queen h7.
Queen h7, king f8.
And I wonder if I can employ a tactic out of woodpecker method. Could I play rook e1, rook de1? Yeah, I got that from woodpecker. Yeah,
excellent.
There is
cutting off the king.
Yes.
Because if you do a check, king e7.
Yes. Yeah, there's about 2 puzzles in the woodpecker method. I forget from which world champions, but you just block off the escape route and then you proceed with checkmate. Yeah, that's cool. The woodpecker came into.
You're always defending.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very important that this doesn't work because otherwise he might be defending, and even though you're pawn up, it's not going to be so easy with your king kind of open there. So it's a good thing you do have f6 here. This one is very important. Takes, check, king f8, and then you can even decide on the rook. This one looks more natural, but it's the same.
If we just go back, it almost looks like rook h7 might work even too after f6 f.
Almost, but what happens if f6 king g8?
Yeah, then I was going to play rook h8.
Rook h1.
Yeah, rook h. No. So if I go f6, right?
Oh, f6.
F6.
Oh, no, I get it.
Yeah, and then rook h7.
Rook h7.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, it looks.
It looks like it works.
Yeah, because you have this and queen.
Yeah, it's the same.
So
it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and if king. Well, there's still.
Yeah, then I was going to go rook h8.
Rook h8.
Yeah.
You're going to run out of.
I was just thinking if rook h8, king h8, rook h1. It's not going to work, eh? Yeah, then I was going to go queen h7, king f8. It almost works. Wait. It still works though, right? Then I have rook e1 though. I'm covering. Oh, I see. He'll take it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I tried.
I have the right to read my material.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost working, but
close.
So h4, f6, h takes, and Yeah, you played it a bit conservatively.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the rook it
You know,
also has.
honestly, I was shocked that I completely missed that King G7 was so good. I thought I won. Like I was not looking at game. I'm just looking at the other games and just I was relaxing. I thought it was mate in a couple moves. Um, so I thought it was just totally mate. And I remember the computer suggested Rook H6, which with the idea of going to G6. That definitely would have been a good.
And what happens here? King,
I can probably still play Rook H1, I think.
rook h1, rook h8.
Yeah, then I give a check. Okay,
You get
well,
check, king
okay, maybe I have to take care of the E file first then. So maybe,
so rook.
okay, so if I start over, instead of Rook H2, if I go Rook H6, King G7, maybe I give the
Yeah.
check first. Maybe I go Rook G6 check. And then I go Queen to E4 later.
Yeah, though we didn't exhaust the other line. I mean, rook h6, king g7, rook
Yeah.
dh1, rook h8. Everything looks natural. You only tried rook g6, but don't we have any other candidates?
So you're saying, uh, here, so Rook H6, King G7,
Rook d to h,
okay, Rook DH1, and then
rook check.
Rook H8. Oh yeah, his rook is gone, so I guess I could play Queen H3.
Queen h3 looks
Yeah,
powerful.
because I
Yeah,
keep
if
forgetting
rook
that
takes, queen takes.
I keep forgetting that his mate threat is gone once he moves that rook, that C rook.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one was winning. Yeah, basically on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know how he. Rook h8, queen h3. And if something else, I don't know, rook g8. Yeah, that's not going to hold anymore.
Maybe King F7 instead of Rook G8.
Instead of rook g8, king
Yeah.
f7, trying to run away.
Oh yeah. Because can he slip out? But then I guess I can go Queen E4.
Queen e4, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting here no matter
Yeah.
what. I mean, he doesn't have the time to try and escape. So
No way out.
yeah. Yeah, very good. I think that sums it up. Rook h2, king g7, and now he's exchanging stuff.
Yeah, I made it more work, yeah, for myself.
Yeah, I mean it's still totally winning because
Yeah, but
the
now
thing is that
I have to now I have to work for it. Now it's not I have to
he gave this check, which I don't quite get.
Yeah.
I mean,
well he
like,
well because I can later if I take the pawn and it gives me a check on h1 I have king d2 and then I can go queen e2. That's we both so
yeah, but he's still going to give checks.
No, but after
plenty of
queen e2 I go back
E2?
to f1 and then I have queen d1.
Oh, you have
Yeah. I calculated this. Yeah.
yeah. I think he should probably still go for this to be
Take on
honest.
a2 maybe.
I don't know because he has this check.
Yeah, but what am I going to do with that? You think that's because then I'm in danger of getting
I was
perpeted.
thinking about something like this. It's still completely losing, of course, but you need to keep the queen active. I don't think black can handle the loss of the f6 pawn. Should still be quite easy, I guess. It should be fairly easy. Queen f4, king c2, and that's probably it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fortunately my king has a lot of shelter to hide.
yeah. So queen c5, queen e2, check.
Nice and safe now. Now I don't have to worry.
Now you go to b1, and you
Yeah,
have the a pawn too.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the king is very well placed there. Well, and that's for it.
Yeah, she's
On
trying
b4.
to get something, some perpet.
Yeah. But I found this game very interesting because it kind of shows that things can get tricky and things can, the game can easily slip away if you don't put it away with decisive play. Uh, uh, this one was kind of a close call. You're always winning, but things can get complicated here. It's a good thing that you can capture this pawn and then you get to defend everything. But it's definitely it's definitely more risk if you don't just find the most powerful blows when the situation warrants. And in this game, something similar happened in the sense that you had a great position. It was this. It was a supposed attempt to play Mora, but queen takes d4. Nice e6, queen d2. Oh, you mentioned system here with knight c3.
Yeah, yeah. I know it looks ridiculous at first, but I knew that I had to be careful here because I know that there is, like Carlsen played this. I know. Well, he played the same thing, but with knight c3, and it gets to an extremely complicated opening. I'll just put it on the board here if you're curious. If you don't already know it, which you might, but it's.
I think I saw the.
Is it here? It's no, because it's knight c3 first. It's knight c3 first, and then it's and then queen d2, and then I think it might be b3, and then bishop a6, and f4, knight f6, and it's really difficult to play. Like I've only encountered this once, I think, once or twice, and it's really, really confusing. And I have it slightly deeper. And I think eventually I put my knight on g4 in some cases. Although that might be when knight f3 is played. Yeah, hang on one second. It might be it might be if knight f3, and then we can play knight g4, and then there's some threats like this. I forget. But it's really, I think because you're threatening to take here and then check.
And I guess in case of h3, you play knight g5. Using the pin in some way.
So where? h3?
Yeah, if he after knight f3,
h3
g4,
here?
if he takes away, then you can make use of the pin. Maybe.
Oh right, yeah. But it's like a really weird position and uncomfortable. And I think sometimes you can, like, f5 is a move too. I think instead of knight f6, I think there's also f5 is a variation, which is even crazier. Yeah, but this is really uncomfortable for me. So this is is chaos. This is really, really complicated. But because of this is actually like one of the most complicated variations that I know. So when he played it a little bit. He played it differently without this knight c3.
He played before right away.
Yeah. So but when he played queen d2, I had my guard up. I was cautious. I thought he might transpose into it, so that's why I played g6. But I wasn't. I gave him credit.
This was weird.
Yeah. Well, taking was weirder.
That's really. Yeah. I mean, what is this guy doing here?
Yeah, it was really strange.
But then he takes.
Yeah, that was shocking.
Position is horrible. It's hard to understand. You mentioned that your opponent was rated about the 1900s.
Yeah.
In the past.
Yeah, he's a bit of an older player at this point.
Yeah, and you mentioned he was a tactical
Yeah, well,
oriented.
yeah, my friend said that the Filipino players in my community tend not to focus so much on opening theory, but tend to be quite aggressive players. That's kind of their style. Because I showed him this game and he said that he's not too surprised. And maybe that explains some of what happened in this game.
Yeah, I mean it's positionally baffling that a player that was rated that high could just give up the bishop in this fashion in such a position, because the position is very open.
Yeah, I know.
It's really hard to understand.
This was the last round. Maybe he was just tired and wanted to. Oh, so he had lost every game in the tournament so far. So he's 0 for 5. Maybe he was tilted. I don't know.
That sounds likely. You play these seats here. Yeah, that was.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, because, well, he has a dark square bishop.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to
I regretted it pretty quickly.
Did you take a look at knight f6?
I got scared of e5. That's why I played.
Yeah, but again, getting scared is not a good reason not to play.
Yeah. I mean, I considered like the follow-up move. I didn't see anything I liked though. There's knight g4, but then I think I lose my knight after f4 probably.
Do you? Because it looks like he's.
Oh, I guess I have
even more, and this bishop is going to be happy about this.
Oh, h3, and then I go to f5, I guess.
Yeah, you do have this maneuver in any case.
Uncomfortable. Okay. Like what about like
something like this?
Oh, right away. Okay, so we don't wait to get kicked out.
The problem is that then he's going to get g4.
Yeah.
Most likely. If you don't want to go back immediately, you can even play h5, I guess. And h3 is kind of weakening now in view of the fact that this pawn is
this is so uncomfortable.
Okay. Really? The knight on f5 is great. The
h5, my poor king. I feel naked. I mean,
well, but probably you're going to play h4 yourself and keep this.
Even more scary. Yeah, this looks very uncomfortable for me.
But the problem for him is that his light squares are, in your hands basically. It's just a matter of you playing these seats at some point and then bringing this bishop out. What is he going to do with this structure? All his pawns on dark squares, while he doesn't have the light square bishop. I don't see how this can go right for him. Something like this. g4 is absolutely not happening. Let's say he castles. You can even play h4 if you don't ever want. The pawn is even supported by the knight. So you're even going to castle and play these seats, and yeah, I don't know what he's going to do about his light squares. This bishop is terrible. You have pretty nice perspectives here, and there's also knight d5 to be checked if you're into pawn sacrifices. How do you feel about this pawn sacrifice? Or is it just too much?
Yeah, I don't think I get an. I mean, then he's hitting h8. I guess I've got bishop a6. Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to give up a pawn, I want a lot of compensation. I'm too materialistic.
Well, you have some knight compensation here.
Yeah.
You do have this threat right now. You're probably even getting the pawn back in some variations, which is odd, but well, not so odd because the pawn is really overextended, and this is happening. I don't know how he's going to deal with it. For example, knight f3.
Knight f3, queen d3, I guess.
Bishop b7, queen d3. You can even elect to bring the pawn back home. Yeah, in any case, it looks like you should have full compensation at least. I mean, knight f3, I'm sure I'm going after the pawn. I might play bishop a6 and not let him castle anywhere. I'm getting greedy now, but the pawn doesn't really look like it's so important anymore. This bishop is huge. I mean, that bishop is going to tear him apart if he can't oppose it, and doesn't look like he can. Many options. When he plays e5, he'd better have something very good going on, because otherwise he's just giving up on it's just resigning the light squares, and even if he gets a pawn for it, it might well not be worth it. He might just be weakening his, basically all the squares in the center, making his bishop a bad bishop, your light square bishop quite impressive. When he gave up the light square bishop, he lost a lot of flexibility. That's what sometimes people don't understand when they play, I don't know, bishop b5, bishop takes e6, or bishop g5, bishop takes f6. Then you need to be very careful about not getting your pawns fixed on the color of the remaining bishop, because otherwise, I mean, your pawn is just going to take over half of the board without even blinking. So e6, he didn't play queen d6, so yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say he did. I'm pretty sure he considered it, because he spent quite a long time on this move, actually.
Maybe he didn't want to exchange queens?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think he was trying to force a win, and that's why he kind of also played kind of weird, because he lost all of his previous games. I think he was desperate to win, and he doesn't want to lose to someone 100 points below him. I think he didn't want to trade queens, and he wanted to keep things as complicated as possible and to attack.
It's funny that when you, it happens to all of us, of course, but when we meet these external factors into our decision making,
it affects.
We tend to make weird, bad moves instead of just playing the natural ones.
Yeah.
Because knight g2 or knight f3 will be pretty much the same. d5.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not allowing queen. Yeah, queen d6. I played that as fast as I could. As soon as he didn't play queen d6,
he didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
I mean, now you have everything going for you. The bishop pair and the pawn center. He has nothing against this. Now your plan is quite clear. I mean, bishop pair against knight bishop, and with mobile pawns in the center, you just need to defend the pawns from behind and push them forwards. That's the basic blueprint for handling this. It might take time, but I don't know how he's going to stop it, because he has no presence in the center. And once the knight get harassed, they have to go back, and they are pretty ineffective if they can't be near the center. So that's eventually going to happen. He even takes. I mean, you definitely shouldn't take here. You need to keep as much center presence as you can.
He's opening up my bishops, like opening up the board for my bishops.
You're truly consolidating all of your advantage now.
And then I played
completely giving up.
Then I played a weird move.
I'm curious as to why you just didn't take them.
95% of the time I would have taken here. And if it's a blitz game or rapid game, I'm taking CD. I don't know. I've as you know, I've been deeply engrossed in my my Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual, and I wanted this bishop to have a little bit more control over the board. So I thought, okay, I'm creating a third pawn island if I take with the e pawn, but now my bishop has a lot more playability on the light squares, and so I thought, I'm creating. Yeah, like I knew it was risky, and I knew that I'm creating a backwards pawn, and I knew that my king would be exposed, but I thought I could deal with that in time, like knight 97 castles, and I thought my bishop would be happy, like maybe I go f5. So that was my reasoning for it. But
your king is not even close to getting in any kind of danger because 97 coming immediately, and he basically has no checks. I mean, queen 3, 97, and no way to prevent this. But you're giving him something to play against, which is, well, this kind of weak pawns on c6 and d5. If, that's a big if, he gets to fit them on the squares they're currently at. That's a big if, because these pawns are still mobile, and your plan still should be to push them forwards, because you're going to deny the knights, from squares on the center of the board. That's where knights belong. Otherwise, they're really ineffective. But with c takes d, the fact is your plan is still going to be knight f6, castles. Then you're going to play bishop b7. This bishop is not actually restricted. It's just helping the mobile pawns advance from behind. Then you're going to play e5. It's going to be very hard for him to stop it.
Yeah, what's that saying? There's a saying something like a good bishop supports an excellent pawn or something. Some grandmaster said that how like good bishops stand behind excellent pawns. Have you heard of that? I'm butchering it a little bit, but
yeah, I only heard about bad bishops that protect good pawns, as the bishop on e7, the Sicilian.
Yeah, it's a little different than that. I forget the exact quote, but it's something like that. Like, the meaning being, even though a bishop is blocked by your own pawn, if sometimes that pawn is really good, it's a really good pawn, even though it's blocking your own bishop.
Yeah, the fact is the bishops get along very well with the pawns. And you have a mobile pawn center. I mean, these pawns are not even close to being fixed. They're going to be pushed forwards.
Yeah, it was kind of a coin flip decision. That was my main worry, was how I developed the bishop. I was worried that he maybe blockades me somehow, but I guess these pawns they're hard without white having central pawns of his own. It's going to be hard to just stop my pawns from just advancing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's he's going to have to go something like f4, which is awful. I mean, he's just weakening more and more square.
Queen b6,
yeah, it's just terrible. I mean, it's more light squares for you. But otherwise, I mean, bishop b7, knight e7, you castle. Even if you play f4, you might play f6 and e5. I mean, with the bishop supporting the central pawns, I mean, a rook on d8, maybe the queen on d7, these 2 pawns will advance, and then the knights are going to be suffocating. That's the price he's going to pay for surrendering the center so quickly and giving you the bishop pair. The fact is, this bishop is not really restricted on b7. It's just supporting the advance of the mobile pawns. It's not completely different if there's a pawn on d4 and e5 for white, for example. Then we can.
So this is like my hydraulic system, right? My bishops are my hydraulics, pushing the pawns forward.
Exactly like that. Exactly like that. It's very different in a blocked position, but definitely not the case. These guys are going to advance, definitely. It takes the. To be fair, this gives a lot of advantage. I still take your position any day, but not clear cut now. At least he has something to play for, to play against, so to speak. 97. This is odd. I don't really know where the knight is heading,
Yeah, I
but
don't know. I
he
mean,
played it twice.
good. Have fun with this.
Yeah, and he repeated the maneuver because he played queen f4. I mean, this is all quite natural. He took and played queen a4. To be fair, I mean, I have to say that at least he's trying to put pressure on the pawns. But here, your reaction is important. You played queen b6, and I'm guessing you played it quite fast.
Yeah, because of as you know, in a couple moves, I missed bishop e3. Um,
And what about your general plan? I mean, those bishops are impressive. I mean, they're going to cut him in half.
my my
Any
general
moment now.
plan. Um, I didn't really have a general plan. I probably just wanted to improve my rooks. I wanted to complete development here and then just slowly inch forward. You know, queen b6, if bishop e3 right away, I obviously thought I had d4 in response. So it seemed, yeah, natural to me that I'm defending the a pawn so that I can bring in my a rook into probably d8. And I might also, I thought with queen b6, I'm also kind of pinning his bishop in a sense as well. So queen b6 seemed super natural to me.
It is natural. Though you have two very powerful bishops, and his minor pieces are not looking that great. Especially the knight is something to worry about for him. Because what is going to happen with that knight when we actually push d4? We're just taking over the center. That knight has to go, well, it doesn't have that many squares to go to, and your pawns just roll up the board.
So d4, knight
With two
e4.
bishops and again, yeah, the d4 looks.
Oh, sorry, knight e4. No, so he has to play knight e2.
92, and now c5, for example. There are these two games. I think I don't know if we saw them. Two games by Steinitz where he shows how to fight with two bishops against a bishop and a knight. Uh, Normally, as your opponent doesn't have one of the bishops,
Yeah.
what you do is you put your pawns in the color of the opponent's bishop. In this case, the dark square bishop. So this bishop that he doesn't have is awesome. What's happening here, actually. Once you roll your pawns up the board, you start restricting his minor pieces. This bishop is restricted by these pawns, doesn't have that many squares to go to, and this knight is also, well, pushed away from the center, while these guys keep advancing. And you can even help them advance because, yeah, you have the bishop that can support the squares in front of them. So now I guess you can play, I don't know, queen b6, rook e8, rook fd8, rook ac8 to try to play c4. I don't really know what he's going to do about this. Maybe he's gonna play this in any case, but that's as far as he's going to go. Your queen is coming to d5, well centralized, and then c4. You're even going to get a passed pawn with the bishop. So, yeah, this is kind of desperate from positional point of view for him. I mean, your plan of bringing out the pieces and all is normal. I mean, it makes sense to bring the pieces to the center, and all, but it kind of misses the point because your opponent also has a plan, which is blocking the pawns where they are now. So if he gets something like bishop e3, knight a4, he puts a piece here. He actually got to play some queen a3 in the game, which became a bit annoying. I mean, queen b6 is definitely not a mistake. But if it's connected with pushing these pawns, then that's great. If not, then you might be preparing too much for it. So he played 92, which makes sense otherwise. I don't know what he's going to do with that. And now rook f8. Do you have have any other ideas here? Any other considerations?
Not really. No. I think I was trying to just play basic developing moves and not overthink things, because my opponent was also spending a lot of time on every move. He was already getting into. Well, here I don't think he wasn't in time trouble yet, but he was definitely heading in that direction. And so, I was still thinking about my moves. I wasn't playing quick. I wasn't trying to flag him, but I was just trying to play basic chess here. And I've got the bishop pair. I like my position. So I was just trying to improve my rooks, double up my rooks on the E file and go from there.
Yeah, it still works. I'm completely sure this is still great for you. Though, yeah, knight g3, the knight. He's still looking for g3. Though, to be fair to him, it's not like the knight has great prospects either. You played bishop d7, and this is, strangely enough, the bishop on d7 is uncomfortable, because now you don't get to play c5 so easily because of the pin on the
I'm the one that's pinned, oddly. Yeah, weird, hey?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's the case. This is, it's a bit unnatural because you just played rook f8,
yeah.
But then this is happening. Boy, that's great. D5, d4.
Yeah, I thought if I put bishop d7, I could then play rook d7. Or sorry, rook e7.
Yeah, though it's taking a lot of time. What about d4, bishop d5, and c5?
No, instead of bishop d6, when I played bishop instead of
d7,
yeah, I thought I could go rook. I thought I could go rook e7 here, which is what I played. But then I missed that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he's kind of playing to put a piece on a dark square and not allow this, because that would be desperate. Rook e7, it's very unfortunate because you were doing great up to this point. And after rook a7, he found this resource, which is
that's it's
surprising.
It is surprising. It's surprising that it works. It kind of hits you out of nowhere, like, queen a3. It's a hard move to kind of consider, I think.
Yeah, definitely is. Something like this might be considered.
Yeah, I think anything. Anything other than rook e7. I think it was very unfortunate. It's an unfortunate type of move.
Yeah. Queen a3.
And I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about the a7 pawn.
Yeah, which is remarkable.
Yeah.
Rook e8. I was thinking about this move. Might be too much.
Yeah, well, the problem here is I still didn't see the threat after he played queen a3. I didn't see bishop e3.
Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't until he played it.
Though bishop f8, there might be bishop h6. He'll love to exchange one of the bishops, and it looks like he's going to get it. In any case, it's really unfortunate. Rook a8, bishop e3. Here the sack is interesting, but
this felt really bad. I was really upset when he played this.
Yeah, you got your chances after this, though. It probably, this is great for him. It's really a step.
Yes, he's at least equal. Yeah, I did consider sacking the exchange there. Instead of d4, I did consider it. I gave a lot of consideration to it, but I just didn't see the follow up. I remember the computer really likes to sack the exchange here, But I didn't know how to follow up. So queen takes, king h1, and I forget what
H5 maybe?
I forget what the computer wanted. But this, I just didn't. I mean, okay, I guess we have two bishops. I mean, maybe that alone is enough compensation for the exchange. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, probably it is, but yeah. I mean, as I said, I did consider this, but I ended up just opting for what I played, d4, and keep material equal. Yeah.
Yeah, this wasn't easy to decide on. I mean, you have to consider queen d6. I don't know. Even though, I mean, it look powerful and all, but I can definitely say that it's not an easy the decision to make.
Yeah, like if I'm going to sack the exchange, I want enough compensation where I feel confident about it, and I don't want to sack the exchange and not be confident. you know.
Yeah. And there are open files, and it's not easy to evaluate. Really,
I thought it was too risky. Like when if I'm not confident about it, then I think it's too risky.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't one of those clear-cut positional rook exchanges that are easy to decide on. I mean, there are some features that are working in your favor. I mean, the bishops are great, and this knight is awful. That's still the case. But still, I mean, there are open files, so it's hard. It's really hard to do it with open files. So d4, and yeah, it should. There's still rook takes e3, which is funny.
Yeah.
Bishop takes, queen takes, and yeah, it should be. I mean, he still has some issues with this knight, I guess. Which kind of told during the game. Queen f6, c5, rook d6, queen b5. Apparently, this rook d5 was extremely bad.
Yeah, I think
no, he can't because of
I think I just have to play rook e6 after.
Yeah, after this there's rook e6,
so
there's nothing on h5 or anything, and then you can. It looks promising. This knight is cut. It's still very bad piece.
Yeah, because I'm threatening h5 or h4.
Yeah, and with the rook on e6, you make sure you always have defense, so nothing much is happening. Yeah, this rook d5 was odd.
Well, it ended up working for him.
Yeah, queen c4, and
he was in time trouble here, by the way.
Oh,
he had like I think he had like 7 minutes or something, and I had like about 50. So this
was a relief for him.
Yeah.
Rook takes.
Yeah. You know why? I forget if I wrote a comment here or not. If I could just move back a couple moves. When I played this, I saw I saw rook h5 obviously, but I thought rook h5. For some reason I missed h8. So I thought if rook h5, I thought I could just play rook e6 then. I thought that's how I deal with rook h5. I know that he wanted to. I thought he was going to try. I don't know why I missed it, but yeah, I did. I mean, honestly, part of it was, I mean, as much as I tried to remain calm and not focus on the clock, just try to play the best moves. That's the best way to win. In the back of my mind, I'm, he's taking so long to think. He only has 7 minutes. And like every move, he's spending 2 minutes. That did have some influence on this, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to give him time to think. It's a hard balance. I mean, you have to strike a balance between not just taking a lot of time on your moves and kind of get even the clock. And also trying to think enough to put the problems, because the there's nothing more annoying than an opponent who is bent on just putting as much difficulties as he can when you're in time trouble, and you can see him looking for the most annoying continuation.
So yeah, and then you have to be
Yeah,
ready for it once it's your move, right? Yeah. So you
yeah,
have to like
you're trying to
outthink
cover
them.
every.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have to be one step ahead, and that's normally not the case if you're in time trouble. Yeah. But the two of them were very interesting games. I mean, a lot of happened, and I think both uh, kind of show your strength and weaknesses very clearly. I mean, you completely outclassed them both uh, in the positional department. They were both in huge trouble right out of the opening. I mean, not to talk opening prep. You clearly know your openings better than both. um, and yeah, you definitely outplayed them positionally. Uh, when the time came to realize the advantage, in both you were a bit too general in your considerations and not wanting to take risks that sometimes are not really there. Um, this desire not to give even an inch of possible counterplay, yeah, that's what's holding you back. Because then you miss chances to just put the game away or go for a powerful plan, go forward. And then things get more complicated. I mean, the first game you came through, but in this second one, your opponent was resourceful to find that queen a3 and
So
bishop e3.
so I make Petrosian look like an aggressive attacking player. I'm very cautious. Yeah, I'm overly cautious. Because
Yeah, but
I don't like to blunder. I don't like to make mistakes. I'm a perfectionist. If you haven't noticed, like say like with the opening, like I like to play perfect as much as I can, and that's why I often get into time trouble. I mean, that's definitely, I mean, it's a strength and a weakness.
you might, we can put it in these terms. I mean, you're right, you're a perfectionist. So when your opponent is making funny looking moves, and these funny looking moves accumulate, uh, then you're probably entitled to punish him somehow. For example, take the first game. He's completely, well, I want to say underdeveloped, but he was almost undeveloped. His bishop on a8 is going nowhere. His king square in the middle of the center. So then there should be something there. So your perfection is mine. We have to set it on, yeah, calculating variations and trying to go for a concrete way of putting problems to your opponent. That's going to change a lot in your game. It requires some training. We're going to do that in our next lessons. But yeah, I think that's the way to go. We need to get more concrete at this point. You definitely, I mean, you're definitely getting good positions. In many games, you're outclassing even stronger, so to speak, because of the ratings opponents. But then when the time comes to finish them off, then you encounter these problems. Yeah. And it's not only a tactic problem, it's also um, it's position in a sense. Sometimes you don't go for the right plan, but it's normal. I mean, both are intertwined. I mean, it's not like
So if I
tactics
could
are
just play
completely
the
different.
first half of the game, that would be really good. If it was like a tag team match where, you know, somebody else plays the second half, I would definitely take the first half, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, as far as openings go, I think you're more than fine. I mean, you know, I'm completely sure you know far more than any 1500s out there. um, that I'm positive about that. uh,
I do have one question before you go.
yeah.
I have an upcoming tournament in April, the best tournament of the year. Well, yeah, and so there's I'm debating which section to go into. Okay, I want to know your thoughts. I think, I mean, I've asked you this type of question before, but I'm going to ask you again. So there's two sections that I could enter. There is the under 2000 section, and there is the under 1700 section. But what makes me consider about moving up a section is the under 17 section is a big range. It's from the next section below is under 1100. So I've got players, and you're allowed to play up a section if you pay extra money. So in like, let me just very quickly open. Well, never mind. I won't open that up. But there's players ranging from 900 to like 1650 in the under 1700 section. And I mean, I would be currently I'm like number 5th seed, and there'll be maybe like in my section alone there might be like 75 players when the tournament starts, and basically I might be paired up against a lot of like 1100, 1200, and I mean a lot of them are very underrated, like extremely. At the same time, if I move up a section, it might be difficult. I mean, the average rating in the section above is probably about like 1730 or 17, around 1730, 1750, let's say. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Yeah, depends on what the goal is. I mean, it sounds like in the under 1700, you have real chances of taking the tournament.
There are possibilities. It's possible. It's possible to win, but there are some, like for example, there's a guy in my section who's rated 1500, but I think he's 2100 on chess.com, which is very strong.
I mean, he's up there, at least in the same level as the top seeds.
And I don't know, like, as you know, because you're often one of the top players in the tournaments that you play, and you don't like that feeling of the pressure. That's the other thing. Like, it's so much pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, if the goal is to win it, it's clear that the
obviously,
but the thing is,
because I don't think I'm going to win it.
I mean, you're doing your best to improve. I mean, you define yourself as an adult improver, which is totally true. I mean, you do everything you need to improve. If that's the perspective, I think the under 2000 is
my goal is to increase my rating. That's my goal,
and it's likely that the under 2000 for that purpose too, because you're not going to get so many underrated players. For example, you might easily play against a 1300 kid who you know nothing about, and it turns out he's not a 1300 at all. And suddenly the game is not so easy. If you get a 1700, you know that the guy has been around for some time, and he might play a bit better, a bit worse, but definitely he's not so underrated. I mean, and even if he's higher rated than you, so it's not such a big problem in any case.
Yeah, there's two guys in that section, in the under 2000 section, who I played before. I played 3 of them before, but 2 of them. So one of them, I'm 1-1 against him. He's like a 1750 player, and then the other, I drew back in October or November. I drew against him, so I might maybe. I mean, and it's 6 rounds, so I mean, if I score 2 out of 6, that might be decent even. Right, in under 2000 section, maybe.
Yeah,
I might gain like 5 points.
But you're selling yourself a bit short. I mean, I can easily see you beating a 1700, 1800 rated player. I mean, it's definitely within reach, and I don't think they're even big favorites or anything. I mean, I think that's a good matchup for you because you're going to win much more often than your current rating indicates, which is always good from a rating winning perspective. And also the quality of the games. I mean, for example, in the under 1700 section, you're probably going to get won two interesting games, the ones that are going to probably decide the tournament winner. But you're probably going to get how many games
6 rounds.
are there? 6 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably going to get 5 or 6 very tough opponents in the under 2000 section. So you're going to get better material to make progress.
Yes. So from your perspective as a coach, you would enjoy looking at the games more in the under 2000 section, right?
Yeah, that's definitely the case. It's going to be a challenge.
There is a class prize too. There's a class prize for the under 2000 section. I think it's under 1800.
Oh, there's also
yeah. I won't be eligible. I mean, I'm not going to score so well to win that. But
well, don't think that way. We don't know. I mean, yeah, you've beat 1700 players before, haven't you?
I think the strongest I've beaten was, I forget what he was at the time. He might have been, it's possible he was like 1809 or high 1700. But yeah, but that was, ironically enough, that was the very first tournament I played as an adult tournament after playing chess for a few months. But since then, no, the highest player I've beaten, I forget. I haven't had that many. I mean, as you've seen, I have not had good tournaments. But
yeah, but you also played in many tournaments where you played in, I don't know, under 1700, under, I don't know. I mean, you didn't face that many
that's true.
higher rated opponents.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, that's right. I played so many kids and unrateds. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see, I mean, you already have experience. You know that a 1700 player is not going to demolish you at all. So it's a nice opportunity of actually beating a player who's rated, I don't know, 200, even 300 points higher, which is definitely within reach. I mean, have faith in you because, I mean, really believe in your chances because they are there. And actually, from a purely mathematical standpoint, I think you should win far more often than the rating difference.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
which is great, always great. That's a great situation for you.
Okay.
I mean, if you lose basically nothing. With
that's what I like about it. There's no pressure on me. Even if I lose, like in this tournament too. In this tournament, I lost the first 3 rounds, and even though I lost the first 3 rounds, I mean, I wasn't happy about it, but it wasn't devastating because I was, under 1900 section is not easy. So, yeah, I like being, and I would be the second lowest in the under 2000 section. So I've got nothing, I can't really go down from there, really. So I have nothing to lose.
It's a really fun place to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm the wild card, right? Like I'm the, I can give the upsets, so they should be afraid of me, right?
Definitely. I mean, and also the ratings are not fixed. Think about the 1600 player. Do you actually think he's, I mean, not even that much better? Do you think he's really necessarily better than you? I don't think so. I mean, the 100 difference rating point is not set in stone, and for a rating to be stable, it requires many, many tournaments being played for you to plateau at the same level for a long time. Otherwise, you don't know. You're putting in the work, so you might be improving, and it starts showing the next tournament. So, yeah, definitely you can.
Okay,
not only you can beat them, they are not even big favorites. It's not like all the ratings are feeds.
So you think I should score higher than 0?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think you're going to go 0 out of 6. I mean, everything is possible in a tournament, of course, but I don't see it happening as a normal occurrence.
I'll probably get a bye. That's one downside, to be fair. because I'll be the second lowest rated player. So I'll probably get well, it depends if there's an even number, right? But and who else take buys, but there's a good chance I'll have to get a forced buy.
Oh, that's a downer.
That is a downer, right? Yeah, that's the downside of being low rated. Unless I win or draw the first game, then I might not get a buy. But if I lose like the first or second game, well, there is someone lower rated than me, and he probably won't win his first game. So as long as I don't lose the first 2 games, I may not get a buy. I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know. A buy, I guess that's the price you pay. I guess that's the downside of playing up a section.
Yeah. I mean, it's a choice. I think you're prepared to play against these players, even if you can definitely battle the games out. It's not like they're going to just win doing anything and that's it. I mean, you've experienced it. You've played against. This guy was at 1600 and he was totally losing against you, the guy from the last game. Just think about the closest example. This was 1500 and
he used to be 1850 when he was a bit younger as well. He's an older player as well. So
yeah, well, but you definitely have your chances. I mean, I can easily see a scenario when you get a great position out of the opening against an 1800 player, be nervous about it, and you're pushing him and you win the game. I mean, it can easily happen. I don't see why not. But
okay.
But tournaments are good. I mean, it's something to think about.
Yeah.
I'm always biased toward, go play the strongest section.
Yeah.
I'm really biased.
Yeah, it's really close. What I'm actually doing right now, I'm kind of waiting and seeing what new players register. Because if more players that are like 1600, 1650, if they start joining the under 1700 section, that will give me more incentive to play in that section, because I'm more likely to get opponents rated around, an average higher rating. But if I get a lot of more like 900s, unrateds, 1100s, I don't really want to play in that section. It's a big gap,
Yeah.
So I'm kind of waiting to see who else registers. But yeah, that will be the highest.
Yeah, makes sense.
That'll be the highest section I've played in, though. I mean, other than an open, like an open section, but for an actual individual section under 2000, I've never. I mean, that's a big section. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's just an open tournament.
Yeah.
If you go higher than that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks. Thanks again, Alessandro. So we finished looking at all 6 of those games. I guess next time you have something, I don't know, some torture planned for me or something interesting, I guess. I see that you added a couple games.
We're going to start training.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, hopefully...
You might have seen some preview. Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully by the time we look at the next lesson, I'll be 2800 on chess.com puzzles, hopefully by then. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's about to happen.
Okay. Yeah, we gotta race to 3000. But okay, yeah, thanks again. I guess I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you.
Okay. Yeah.